as we're entering this Eagles offseason, and there's a lot of questions to be asked, we trust Howie Roseman to make the right decisions. But I got to ask you, do you trust Daryl Morey? With the NBA trade deadline just over 24 hours away? And I struggle to say yes to that. Trading in the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions on the Sixers, the trade deadline, the Eagles, their offensive free agents, and so much more. We're live with your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill, wherever you're watching, however you're watching, whichever platform you're watching on, please hit the like button wherever it is. Please share this out. And, of course, subscribe. Starting today at 1,015 subscribers. Picked up 4 new subscribers yesterday. So we are continuing that trend in the right direction. We only can do that with your help supporting local content creators. It is free to click on shows. It's free to do that. If you're watching on replay, drop your comments and thoughts. I will respond to every comment and thought. But what I need from you is to like, subscribe, share, live or on replay. For those watching live, of course, vote on the live poll question. Do you trust Daryl Morey at the NBA trade deadline? Yes or no? Very simple question. Crazy trades already happening in the NBA. Do you trust Daryl Morey to make the right decision? I think it's a tough question. We got lots to get into today, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. We got comments already rolling in, so we will answer them. It looks like there's a little bit of a lag on comments, so we will see what happens here. We're having the comment lag problem again today, but we'll get through it. Great energy again by Sixers. It's all you need against a hurt squad. Sixers with their 5th win in a row last night. Very good win. Very good thing for them to do. Good job by the Sixers last night. 113-94 over the shorthanded Golden State Warriors. Joel Embiid obviously didn't play in that game. But yes, good morning, RW. How you doing today? Somebody asked me to ask me a question. I want to ask you, which Super Bowl meant more to you, 52 or 59? I would probably say today's the anniversary of celebrating our first Super Bowl 52 victory. Happened, what was that, 8 years ago today. Man, I guess 52 meant more because it was the first one. I guess that would be the thing. That would be my answer. New York Knicks has to trade that jackass cat. Look, already Jaren Jackson traded, James Harden traded, Vucevic traded. There are 3-4 trades in the NBA yesterday. And my biggest issue is really simple. I have no idea what anybody is worth at the NBA trade deadline. Literally no idea what a single player is worth at this point. No idea. Trying to fix this little lag thing that I got going on here. There we go. I think we got it back. I don't know. You've got scenarios where Luka and Trea are worth 1 first-round pick. You got scenarios where Jaren Jackson's worth 3 first-round picks. You got scenarios where Harden is still getting traded like he's a superstar. So I have no idea what is going on in the NBA, and I have no idea what the value of players are in the NBA. And the problem is, do I trust Daryl Morey to not see all these names moving and not make a big move? I don't know if Cat's going to get traded by the Knicks or not, but who knows what the value is at this point, because I surely do not. Good morning, Robert. How you doing today? I think he tweaks like a meth head but doesn't overhaul much. Daryl Morey, yeah, I don't think he will do much, Daryl Morey, in the next 24 hours. but I don't want him to do much. I want him to just tweak, okay? That's all I want Daryl Morey to do is tweak a little bit. You know, if they want to get under the luxury tax threshold, great, sure, fine, whatever. We all know Josh Harris could use the money or might be needing the money soon. The thing is, do you trust that he's not going to see teams trading James Harden, teams trading Jaren Jackson, earlier this year, Trea Young, not see those superstars being traded and just be like, oh, that's got to be me. I got to do something. I got to keep up with the Joneses. I think that's something that Daryl Morey does. He sees things like that. He's like, oh, I got to get in on it. What's up, Little G? How you doing? JP, Reed, Dean signed. Look, we'll see. We talked about a lot of those guys yesterday. We got to talk about Dallas Goedert today. What do the Eagles do? Good morning, Adam. How you doing? Sixers and Flyers both with wins last night. Absolutely. Bulls management gave Billy Donovan a lollipop and said, suck on this. Look, I mean, the Bulls see the Sixers winning with 3 guards. So they had to go out and get 8 or 9 guards to round out their team. Harden went to the Cavs. And again, at what point are teams going to stop treating James Harden like the elite superstar he thinks he is? James Harden went to the Cavs for Darius Garland in a second-round pick. I think, if anything, that's like I feel bad for Garland to an extent, being that piece, injured player, got a toe issue, struggled at times. I think the Clippers won that trade. The Cavs lose. James Harden and Donovan Mitchell on the floor together just spells disaster. If anything, it helps the Sixers in the Eastern Conference. I just replaced the closet door I broke from chest bumping it in 2018. I love it. I got a really interesting Eagles question for you guys for later in the show about Jalen Hurts versus Donovan. We'll get to that in a little bit. Yes, I agree. 52 was my favorite, like you said. It was the first one. It's like you never forget your first kiss. You never forget your first anyway. You never forget your first Super Bowl. I don't forget my first championship, which was the 08 Phillies. I was alive for the 83 Sixers, but I was a young little toddler, so I don't really remember it. But yeah, Super Bowl 52, first Eagles championship. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember falling to my knees and not knowing how to react. I loved the Super Bowl last year. It felt different last year than before. But man, that first one, that's the special one right there. I'm starting to think NBA GMs are in love with past their prime stars. Absolutely. And that is why I asked the question, do you trust Daryl Morey? Daryl Morey has been a home run swing kind of guy, right? He is a star hunter. He still believes in the philosophy, to me, which is outdated, that you win by building a big 3. I don't think you need a big 3. You can buy a championship in baseball. I don't think you can buy a championship in basketball. Not at least easily. So I don't know. Oh, here we go. Hornets. I heard the Hornets are going to go get Lonzo Ball to pair with LaMelo Ball. Look at that. Hornets, 7-game winning streak. Look at that. I checked before we went live to see if they had lost yet. Clippers got Darius Garland in a second-round pick. Cavaliers got just, James Harden. At some point, people got to start realizing that James Harden is nothing more than a guy that's selfish, a guy that doesn't actually care about any team, only cares about one thing. Why does James Harden want it out of L.A.? Because they wouldn't give him a 2-year, $80 million extension. So when James Harden doesn't get what he wants, he says, yo, get me out of here or I'm not playing. And this is not the first time. This is not the second. He wanted out of OKC, wanted out of Houston, wanted out of Brooklyn, wanted out of Philly, now wanted out of L.A. How long till he wants out of Cleveland? It's ridiculous. How long till he realizes that Cleveland ain't that cool of a city compared to L.A., La La Land, and wants out of there? James Harden needs to retire. He does. He's, 37? I mean, James Harden is having a really good year this year. The Clippers started bad, are playing well now. The Clippers are doing good enough, right? don't understand what James Harden thinks, is going to change by him forcing his way to Cleveland. Does he think he's going to make more money being in Cleveland than he is in LA? It's ridiculous. But the thing is, a James Harden deal like that, you see two big deals yesterday, and this directly links to the Sixers, okay? You see two big trades in the NBA yesterday, okay? Trade number one, James Harden for a player to match salaries and a second-round pick. Trade two, Jaren Jackson for 3 first-round picks. The Utah Jazz, who are not even remotely in it, they've got 15 wins on the season, traded 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson, who doesn't even fit next to Lauri Markkanen to an extent. I don't get it. But James Harden or Daryl Morey sees 2 big stars traded yesterday, right? Or 2 big names traded. Let me preface, not stars, big names, okay? He sees that, right? Maybe I could get somebody a little cheaper, right? Would you be shocked if that's what Daryl Morey sees? Like, you know what? Maybe I should go get Giannis. Maybe I should go get Kawhi Leonard. Maybe I should go get one of these guys. Maybe that's what he sees. My buddy cried on the first Super Bowl. It was happy tears. I cried when the Phillies won the World Series as well. In 2008, I did. Melissa thinks I had a heart attack when the Eagles won the Super Bowl 52 because I kind of fell to my knees and didn't move for a minute. All I really was doing was looking for a flag on the field to give the Patriots one more chance. NBA trade deadline gives a new deadline to Waste Management Open. Look, the Waste Management Open has got my attention way more than the NBA trade deadline. But I do fear that Daryl Morey will see what's going on in the NBA and not be willing to just stand pat. He won't. Maybe he wants to see them Ohio clubs in Miami. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That's weird. I will never forget 52. It was emotional for me. I was celebrate with my grandfather who ushered in my fandom before he passed. Absolutely. Would never forget it. You know what I mean? Never. And I wouldn't expect anybody to forget it, right? You can never forget your first, right? Everybody's first is always one of the most important things, right? But it doesn't make the other one less meaningful. It just makes it, I don't know. 52 was special. 52 is an extra special one. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the comments. I've refreshed my screen multiple times. I can see comments coming up on a side screen here, but I cannot see them on StreamYard here, and I have refreshed multiple times. So we're just going to have to do our best here today. Maybe I could pull comments up on my phone so I could be reading them as we go from here. Maybe that's the way it works today. Morey going after Giannis now after yesterday, according to Adam. Yeah, that's my fear, Adam, that I don't trust Daryl Morey not to go after him. Okay? I heard Cleveland has top-tier strip clubs, James Harden's agent. That very well may be the case. It may be a strip club-related thing. It very well be. Noom says, guaranteed DeMar DeRozan is on the Wizards or equivalent by the end of the day tomorrow. Very possible. Very possible. This team, as constructed, is a first-round exit. The Sixers? Sure. Fine. Marshawn, I get that, Marshawn. But the thing is, that's okay, right? They could be a first-round exit, right? Can't they? Isn't a first-round exit good enough? Is a first-round exit good enough? There we go. I'm trying some different things here to make this work. Trying something. Same with Zach LaVine. Yeah, Zach LaVine's another one that never, everybody always treats him like he's this elite player, and I just don't know. I don't know if that's the case. They both special because we beat 2 Hall of Famers both times. Your dislike for Morey is clouding your judgment. Well, that is 100% accurate. I obviously have a massive dislike for him. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that right there. My screen not flashing now. Yeah, I'm trying to work around here. Trying to figure out a way to work around the fact that comments will not pop up on the screen for me. It's okay to be a first-round exit. You smoking the same. I'm not saying it's okay to be a first-round exit. I'm not. What I'm saying is that I had minimal expectations for this team, right? What I'm saying is that I don't trust Daryl Morey to make the type of move necessary to get us out of the first round without making a mistake. Going out and trading VJ Edgecombe, 2 first-round picks, everything you got to do to go get Giannis might not get you out of the first round and might do more harm than good. Big picture. You just said it's okay. Did I? Well, I didn't mean it that it's okay that they don't get out of the first round. I'm okay with him not swinging for the fences. Minimal expectation is some fair weather fan type shit. Look, Marshawn, I get it, but it has made this season so much easier. So much easier to care for, so much easier to watch. So much easier. Mister, what's up, my man? How do the Celtics have a better record with half the talent? Nurse is a crumb bum. Look, Nick Nurse is an issue. There's definitely something to that. There's definitely something to the fact that Nick Nurse just ain't it, right? Definitely something to that. Definitely something to the fact that maybe Nick Nurse holds this team back. Maybe. There's your comment there. I don't know why, but it's unreal how much more energy the Sixers play without Paul George. True test will be against a better team. Yeah, and we've had a weaker schedule as of late. This 6-game win, is it 5 or 6-game win streak that we are now on? What's that, 5-game win streak? It's been against some lighter teams, the Pelicans, the Kings. The Warriors extremely shorthanded last night. Now the Lakers are up next on Thursday after the deadline. If you're scared, go to church, Phil. Look, I get it. So it's not whether I am scared, more so about do you trust Daryl Morey to do what's right? And that's the thing. Yes, I am biased towards Daryl Morey. I don't believe in Daryl Morey. I have never denied that, right? Never denied my feelings on Daryl Morey. Sixers have been crashing the offensive glass. Love to see that along with converting turnovers. Yeah, look, last night's game, obviously, I'm not a West Coast fan of games. I was asleep at the end of the first quarter, as I was the night before. But you had Andre Drummond doing what he does. The last couple of games, offensive rebounds have been plentiful. Dominic Barlow has 16 offensive rebounds alone in the last 2 games. There is a possibility that this Sixers team can make a run. There is. And this trade deadline can help that run, right? And I want to give Daryl Morey the benefit of the doubt because he had arguably his best offseason since he got to Philly, getting VJ Edgecombe, getting Dominic Barlow, getting Jabari Walker, ultimately Trent Watford as well. He had a great offseason. No doubt about it. And I want to believe that he's got the best interest of this team moving forward. I do. But we've been burned by him with these big trades. Although I did read something interesting. I did. And this is supposed to give me confidence when you think about it. That the Sixers have made 2 James Harden trades. They traded for James Harden, and they've traded James Harden away. And there's an argument to be made that the Sixers won both those James Harden trades. It got us off of Ben Simmons and that atrocious contract. James Harden, while here, helped Tyrese Maxey in his development. And then we were able to get away from James Harden and still pick up the Clippers first-round pick, which is going to turn out to be a fantastic first-round pick. So there's an argument to be made that James Harden trades were not as bad as I make them out to be. Now, we know why George energy was low. He's a chunky on rehab. I mean, look, say what you want about Paul George. He was playing decently this year. He failed a drug test, obviously, which to me, the bigger issue isn't that he failed the drug test. The biggest issue to me is the fact that he failed the drug test in a way for a drug that he could have easily found out. It's not like he was doing crack or something like that and got busted. He got busted because he did not call the number provided for free 24/7 to check a drug, to check a pill. All he had to do was call a number, and he'd be good. The immaturity from Paul George is the problem there. The student who tees off in the league group tomorrow, Phil, going to sign off early. I love the Waste Management Phoenix Open, K1. I love the greatest show on grass, the People's Open, the raucous crowds, hole 16, but more than hole 16, the drivable hole 4, par 4, 17th. Is it the 14th or the 15th? Really short par 5. The ebbs and flows of that 5-hole stretch from 14 to 17, or 14 to 18. Some of the best entertaining golf in the world right there. I don't want the clips to suck too soon. That's true. But getting Darius Garland, in theory, actually doesn't make sense with their plan. Their plan was to get everybody off the books by 27-28. Darius Garland signed through 28-29 at $40 million. He doesn't make sense for their new plan. And I wouldn't be shocked if Kawhi Leonard isn't traded in the next 24 hours as well. Burned by him. Geez, he won the Simmons and Hart. I literally just said that. It's weird. I look back on it because we didn't win a title in those trades that I get pissed off. But in theory, getting off of Simmons and getting the Clippers pick for Harden, it's probably win-win, right? And I don't know if Tyrese Maxey is as good as he is without the James Harden experience, honestly. Paul George does a lot of stuff right, but you know what's going to happen when any team plays with defensive intensity against him in the playoffs. Yeah, look, I'm hoping that the time off gets him healthy, that he's working out, that he's staying engaged. I know he can't practice with the team, so to speak. But, I'm hoping that there's a seamless seamless transition to get him back on the court. But I don't know. You don't call about the drug because you know the answer. Pretty much, Big Al. What I really loved last night, Golden State Warriors made a concerted effort to take Maxey out of the game, and they responded with 8 players in double figures. Yeah, everybody pitched in. VJ Edgecombe obviously had a huge game last night. Not sure why Jarrett McCain, after a couple really good games, got so few minutes in the game last night. I read that he didn't even see the court till garbage minutes at the end of the game in the second half. It's not like Quinny Grimes is anything extra special. Really shocked about that. No, the deadline is tomorrow. I believe probably 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock normally is about the time. Not today. Tomorrow is the NBA trade deadline. But you kept saying he only fixed the Simmons trade after he got 2 firsts for Harden for years. I know. And look, and I do not lie. I have a pre-bias set in on Daryl Morey. I don't think he's a winner. I don't. I do not think he's a winning GM. Okay? But he's had a really good last couple months. And maybe he's better than I think. Maybe. I remember going to the game when Harden first got here. You could see the spacing on the floor and how everyone got open. Yeah, I almost would say that we gave up on James Harden too soon. The problem is that he wanted out so bad. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest problem with the James Harden trade was James Harden himself, because you just can't keep James Harden happy. James Harden is one of those guys that just is never happy. I don't think he'd be happy. He'd be one of those, like, you know, let's use the James Harden to A.J. Brown, okay? Let me put it this way. Supposedly, after the Rams game is when A.J. Brown first requested a trade out of Philly. A.J. Brown had over 100 yards that game and a tutty, and the Eagles won the game. That's James Harden, right? February 5th, yes. February 5th is the deadline. McCain played the first half, didn't see any time in the second half. Ridiculous. Crazy. Insane. That's a really big question mark. Why that's like that. Trades have to wrap up in time to watch the Waste Management Open. That is true. That is true. The NBA trade deadline does not need to interfere with my round one waste management. Nobody on the Sixers is a winner. That's a potential, that's a potential accurate thing, at least at this point. That's fine, Marshawn. That's fine. So how do the Sixers become winners then? Do you trust Daryl Morey to make them winners? That's the question, is about trust. I trust Howie Roseman to fix the Eagles next year. I don't trust Daryl Morey to fix the Sixers right now. It's about the buyout market for the Sixers. I don't even know if it's about the buyout market. They want to get under the tax, and they got to open up roster spots for Barlow and Walker. That's their top two priorities right now in the next 24 hours. I don't think their priority should be going after Giannis or any of these big names. Will they? I don't know, but that's the thing. And even the buyout market, maybe I'm not a salary cap expert when it comes to basketball, but then they would have to get even further under the tax to be able to get into the buyout. So they just want to clear, what is it, 1.3? I had it written down here somewhere. 1.3 and change million they got to clear. They want to get in the buyout market. Don't they got to clear more than that then? Even AI didn't win. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nobody since 1983 has won. It's true. That's fine. I get it. The Sixers, yeah, in our lifetime, as fans, not as being born, have not won anything. Did James Harden trade fix Morey's star hunting? It's a good question. Did trading for James Harden and how bad it went scare Daryl Morey away from the big move? That maybe he realized his mistakes? Did Daryl Morey have an epiphany? Did he have a coming-of-age moment? Like Howie Roseman going to the equipment closet? All right, so maybe the way I was doing it, maybe the way I thought is the way you need to do it, isn't the way to do it. So let's go draft VJ Edgecombe, Jaren McCain. Let's go get fringe players around my stars like Barlow and Watford. Let's build our team that way. Maybe that's the thing. So then maybe Daryl Morey does go out and get us a better bench, scorer or a better wing defender for the stretch run. Maybe that's what it is. They don't want McCain getting hurt for the deadline. Look, the biggest thing is today and last night is, do you see anybody being held? Like Bobby Portis mysteriously was injured last night. Is he getting held out because he don't want him to get hurt? McCain would be your second best trade chip outside of draft picks. It's the Clippers draft pick, it's VJ Edgecombe, and it's Jaren McCain in that order. They're your three biggest valuable trade assets. They definitely don't want to give up on VJ, so maybe McCain's got to be protected for that. Dave B. And Morey are both losers, and Danny Briere and Keith Jones are still up in the air, and we know Howie is king. Yeah, we know Howie is king. No doubt about that. If I never see snow again in my lifetime, it'll be too soon. I agree, mister. 1,000,000% with you. 100,000,000% with you on that. You trust Howie to fix the Eagles because you have a bias towards him. Yeah, we all have biases in everything. We're sports fans with opinions. Our opinions are biased. Every opinion in the history of the world is a biased opinion. We all formulate it because of previous biases, right? There's no such thing as an opinion on anything that isn't biased in some sense. Our biases are created based off of previous things we've seen. I don't want Portis. Sixers would have to give up Kelly and Drummond. The Sixers cannot give up Kelly Oubre I know Kelly Oubre has been in a lot of trade, scenarios over the last week or two of people suggesting this or that. But with the Paul George suspension, you absolutely cannot trade Kelly Oubre now. No way. Drummond probably is getting traded, which I still don't agree with, but probably. Eric Gordon probably getting traded, right? But outside of that, I don't know what else they do. Dave Dombrowski content with his 2 World Series rings with different teams and making the World Series with 2 others. Dude is riding in the sunset. Yeah, look, I agree. Dave Dombrowski, if you want to talk about trust of our GMs and our executives in this city, I trust Dave Dombrowski the least of them all, without a doubt. At least Daryl Morey's trying. He might try wrong sometimes, but at least he tries. Dave Dombrowski is just chilling like a villain. He don't give a rat's ass about anything. We trust Howie because he has proven to work. The others haven't. Exactly. Well, Dave Dombrowski proved it worked 471 years ago, but not in Philadelphia hasn't worked. Daryl Morey never won jack shit, plain and simple. We're still waiting for Danny Briere one way or another. You have previously watched Morey get off the Simmons and Harden contracts to the tune of 2 really valuable Clippers pick. Drafted Maxey. Look, I've never doubted Daryl Morey's draft effort. I mean, I think he got lucky with Tyrese Maxey to an extent. With COVID and the lack of a combine, him falling, I think that was a little bit of a shock. But McCain and VJ, they were hell of picks, and I give him credit for that. Oubre is shooting a career high in threes this year, playing really good defense. He's finally getting healthy. You can't trade Kelly. You could have argued maybe to trade Kelly Oubre, maybe, before the Paul George suspension in the right deal. But now you can't. I would rather talk to trees than watch the NBA. Look, I get it. It's hard to watch, the NBA at this point. It's a tough game to watch. I watch my niece's championship CYO game this past weekend. I've been to my nephew's travel rec league games a couple times this year to support him. And we're talking about 9, 10, 11-year-old kids. And you know how they're learning to play basketball? By the unwatchable NBA right now. And you're seeing 9-year-old kids trying to be foul merchants. You're seeing 9-year-old kids fling up shots that they have no reason to be taking. And the NBA, that's hard to watch, is going to get harder because all the kids coming up now are learning and thinking that's the way to play. Allen Iverson was banging every high-price hooker in the city. He won plenty. Oh, man. Everyone gets lucky. That's true. I mean, I get lucky to have you in the chat every single morning you choose to, Marshawn. Pretty much the same thing, yes. Let's face it, hockey is the only sport with solid officiating. Other sports have turned into pro wrestling. Look, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Roger Goodell is the most clueless individual in sports right now, saying at the Super Bowl with a straight face that I really love the state of officiating in the NFL. I think we have the best officials in sports, and they do a fantastic job. It's asinine thing to say. You didn't have to say that. You could say, well, what was he supposed to say? Was he supposed to criticize him? You just say nothing. Saying nothing says everything. For how much love Hinkie gets, he sucked at drafting and got super lucky with Joel. Yeah, look, Hinkie was not a great drafter at all. He found ways to maximize values in trades. But outside of that, he needed better talent evaluators around him. That is for sure. I would rather talk to Groot than watch the All-Star game. Look, I didn't even know the Pro Bowl was last night, by the way. My man Chandler tweeted at me last night at like 9:30. I just wrapped up watching a show with the wife on TV about the Pro Bowl. And I'm like, shit, had no clue. Totally forgot. Better to be lucky than good. Sometimes that is accurate. My son was rewarded with being allowed to watch the game since he got 5 steals, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Look at that. Look at you. Raising a well-rounded individual. Luka and Trae Young, 1 first-round pick. Jaren Jackson, Desmond Zane. I don't know if did you see me tweet that out yesterday, Marshawn? I tweeted that out. This is the biggest issue I have, Marshawn, with the trade deadline. And I don't know whether to trust Daryl Morey or not. I don't know if Daryl Morey should make a trade or not. Why? Because what is anybody – if Luka Doncic is only worth 1 first-round pick and Jaren Jackson is worth 3 and Desmond Bane is worth 4, there is something broken in the NBA. Like Trae Young, whatever. Trae Young to me is kind of similar to James Harden. I don't know if he's a winner. Different type of player to an extent, but I don't know if he's got that winner killer instinct, Trae Young. He's a stat monger and that's it. But man, Jaren Jackson 3, Desmond Bane 4, and look, Orlando, they're winning some games with Desmond Bane. Great. I don't hate teams swinging for the fences, but I don't understand what anybody's worth in the NBA. So what is, if Desmond Bane gets 4, Jaren Jackson gets 3, but Luka gets you 1, how many draft picks is Giannis really worth? Really, in the end? Do you film a Robert Kraft? Did not make the Hall of Fame? Look, yeah, Robert Kraft, along with Bill Belichick, didn't get in the Hall of Fame. Neither did Eli Manning. Seems like there's some biases going towards New England in Hall of Fame voting. I think it's crazy. I think it's insane. I think it's asinine, but it's something. In his rec game, then at 11, he traded it in for the Thursday game. Gotcha. Kids these days, they love their Lakers, Says Stephen A. Smith, Robert Kraft missed out on Hall of Fame. Yeah, no, I know that, and that's crazy to me, right? There's definitely some massive biases going towards the New England Patriots. I'll be curious in a year or two when, Tom Brady is eligible, what they do with him. Or if the other two, Kraft and Belichick, are in by that point. Maybe they just induct them all at the same time. Maybe. Can they induct an entire organization in at one point? Sanders threw a pick on his first pass. That's awesome. I still stand by Shedeur Sanders being in the Pro Bowl. It didn't work. Like, my philosophy was Shedeur Sanders in the Pro Bowl to get more eyes on it. It didn't work because my eyes never went to it, right? But theory, doing something crazy like that to bring more eyes, it's not the craziest thing in the world. It just didn't work because nobody really cares, it seems like, about Shedeur Sanders. Plain and simple. It didn't work out. It is crazy. It's very crazy, Bucks fan. What in the hell is Roger Goodell watching every week? I don't know. Okay? I have no idea. I know 7 first-round picks. Like, it's pure insanity. Okay? Pure insanity to me. Okay? If I told you Luka, Trea, Bane, and Jackson were traded for a combined 9 first-round picks, how do you think you would have projected those 9 picks to be broken down, right? And on top of it, Jaren Jackson going to Utah doesn't make sense either to me. You already got Lauri Markkanen. You've got 15 wins, and you're making a win-now trade. Again, what are teams thinking? That's why I don't have any clue what to expect with this trade deadline. What kind of all-star game happens on a Tuesday? Exactly. What in the world are we doing with the Pro Bowl, right? Like, seriously. I know they're trying different things, but Tuesday? Got much better things to do on a Tuesday night. Like, think about my Waste Management Phoenix Open lineups than watch a Pro Bowl game. Remember when they had the rental refs? Goodell probably said probably. I do remember that. I do. I forgot, but now that you say that, I remember that. You say they were good, but we can always be better. You couldn't get 1 first-round pick for Trae Young. I will never talk shit about Young since he sent us home. That's true. That's exactly true. Right? He sent us home, so I can't bash him. But Trae Young and James Harden got a 2nd-round pick and a salary match, and that's it? Like, teams are telling a story, right? But then they're doing something else. Like, the Clippers are trying to clear up space to rebuild. but then they go get young Darius Garland, who's under contract for 3 years. The Jazz are a rebuilding team, but go get a high-paid player and give up 3 future picks. There's so much that's not making sense in the last 24 hours. And that's why I don't know what the Sixers do. I don't know what they should do or could do. You saw that video I sent you of Hurt's interview? Yeah, I saw the Hurt's interview. It didn't work, but it was a great idea anyway. Yeah. Hurt thinking about 18 games. The players will push back on the 18-game thing big time. They will for a while. They are up to 9 international games now next year. So there's going to come a point where every team has an international game every year. That's just the way it's going to be. But, yeah, I mean, we're up to 9 international games. They're going to try. The owners are going to push for 18 games. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think it happens anytime soon. I mean, Dallas also got AD. AD might get traded again. AD is just like Giannis. He's probably actually not hurt right now. He just doesn't want to play in Dallas now. You know, the fact that so many players in the NBA decide where they want to play, and if they don't like playing there anymore, they just say, I'm hurt. I'm not playing anymore. Forget it. I'm good. Like, the NBA is the most weirdest run organization in sports. Like, owners you would think always have some control. The owners in the NBA have literally zero control over anything that's happening. Anything. I don't get it. It's crazy. It really, really is. Again, comments were working for a little while. They're back to not working. I guess I got to reset my browser after this show. That tends to happen from time to time. Oh, nope, they've just popped all up. Nope, they still didn't pop up. Tend to have to reset my browser after shows occasionally. That's good old StreamYard for you right there. Never works. Never forced me to do this. Danny Ainge still running the Jazz? Yes, I believe that he is. So he's got a plan, obviously, right? He always has a plan, Danny Ainge, right? I think Barlow was affected by the deadline and the two-way nature of the deal, but getting that player to allow him to play more games really helped him mentally. Like Dominic Barlow, I mean, say what you will about Daryl Morey, it was one of his biggest wins. It was. That's more fun means more football, right? I guess. More football is great, but I don't know. You think they should trash preseason and just have combined practices with different teams and decide who makes the team? Look, you can't completely do away with preseason. You can't. Because preseason in football is where the guys on practice squads, 4-stringers, guys that aren't even making the practice squad get opportunities to get film on tape. They get opportunities to play and make a name for themselves. So you can't do away with it. But they probably will go to 18 games and 2 preseason games at some point down the line, but not anytime soon. But you can't do away with it totally because there's too many other people that need those preseason games for whatever reason it may or may not be. Guys, if you haven't yet, please, we've only got 14 likes on the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. Hit the buttons on your screen for me. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Governors, not owners. That's true. Means push Super Bowl back means only 2 preseason games, 2 bye weeks. You're definitely going to have to do 2 bye weeks. The more international games that come up, the more Thursday night games that start happening, Friday night games and Saturday games. 18, you're going to have it. Now, the easy thing is you just start the Super Bowl President's Weekend, right? You push off the Super Bowl another week, and then it's a national holiday for most people. They get the day after the Super Bowl off. Makes the Super Bowl even a bigger event, right? I'm trying. I'm resetting things every few minutes here. In other news, the Dalai Lama met with Epstein. Oh, my God. Stop. Reset browser equals clear cat. Yeah. No, not on this computer. Last night, they were also able to lighten Maxey's minutes and burn. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great thing. And he still somehow did not see Jarrett McCain in the second half. What's the chances the toothbrush is gone? The poll right now, no trust in Daryl Morey is at 62%. Yes, I trust Daryl Morey at 38%. Actually kind of shocked how close the poll would be, or is at this point. I'd rather see 1 preseason game, 19 games, 2 bye weeks. Let's get to 18 games first. You can't, I don't know if you could go. I think you have to stick to 2 preseason games. There are too many guys in roster spots 65 through 95 that need reps, need film, need tape, right? Unless you're going to expand practice squads and contracts and things like that to give guys opportunities. You go to 18 or 19 games, you're going to have to extend the you're going to have to extend rosters anyway, right? Because another game equals more opportunities for injuries. You're going to have to change the IR rules as well. Might tush push be gone? I don't know if they'll get rid of the tush push in 26 or not, because the Eagles didn't run it well, and their golden child team, the Bills, ran it so much, so they're not going to want to take it away from Josh Allen, despite him, not winning still. More weeks in the NFL, look. We're going that route. There will be more games, more international games, all of that, right? Eventually. When, I don't know. But I know the league wants more NFL games. We want more games. I love the football. More football is great for business, right? Great for content. But it's a process, right? It's going to be a process. Again, 9 international games. That's a huge jump up, right? The 9 international games. We got obviously 3 London games. Madrid, Mexico City, Munich, Rio, Brazil, Melbourne, Australia. Paris is getting a game this year, right? More football's great. It makes more money. But there's so many other things. Where does that money go? Who gets it? There's so many other things that go into it. NHL has to up its exposure, should have under 21 games and international games on YouTube. I don't know how anyone watches the NBA. Look, I tried, Tote. I tried to bring my love of the Flyers back this year. I tried to get into them. I was a little bit. Most people think of me as Eagles and a little bit of Phillies and Sixers. I'm a huge Flyers guy. Been to more Flyers games than Sixers and Eagles games combined in my life. All right? I just couldn't get into it. Something's missing. Something's lacking in the sport to hold my attention. And it's not just the Flyers being good. I don't know if it's the presentation. I don't know what it is. It just cannot keep my attention. Awesome for fans. More football is awesome for fans, of course. How long till all sports is streaming all the time? I mean, it's true. At some point, football won't just go to 18 games. There's going to come a time when there's football on 7 days a week, live football, 7 days a week. Yeah, you always ask for the cherry bombs. I gave you guys a little Brazil. My voice is a little verklempt this morning, so I couldn't get the full accent on that. Roger Goodell, final say. That is true. He is. And look, we might not like Roger Goodell, right? We all bash Roger Goodell, right? But the owners, I guarantee you, absolutely love Roger Goodell because their bank accounts get padded so much more from him than any other sport or any other commissioner ever. He has grown the NFL from this multi-billion-dollar organization to probably $1 trillion organization in his time. Phil's showing his age, still watching Scrambled Spice Channel, not using computer. I didn't say that. I just said not on this computer. Big Al. But yeah, of course, right? Who did try to jiggle the scrambler thing on the back of the TV, right? NBA never on TV. Well, NBA is still just like NHL, a local channel thing. Most Sixers games are all local. Most, Hornets games are on locally. Okay. For football, they should do Japan or Seoul. Maybe they do at some point. I have a feeling that we are going to get to the point, Adam, when we get to 18 NFL games. We're going to get to the point with 18 NFL games where there's also one international game every single week, that every team has at least one international game on their schedule. Some two. We're going to get there to that point. That maybe not in the next 10 years, but in the next 20 years, there might be an international team in the NFL. Whether it's down in Mexico, maybe London, I doubt London. But there's going to be an international team. I wake up every morning, Monday through Friday. I drive 1.5 to work. That's why I'm pissed off. I don't know if you're joking. If you literally have a 90-minute commute, you either got to move or find a new job. I could not. I hated my 20-minute drive to work. The best job I ever had commute-wise was cruise ships because I lived at work. I literally rolled out of bed, opened my door, and I was at work. It also sucked because I was always at work, but that's another subject. I would love it. Instead of preseason, they had a minutes restriction on designated starters in August and counted the August games. That would make depth and GMs even more important. You would definitely, Nooms, for this, have to have larger rosters, okay? And you'd have to find a way, like again, the depth. You need your third or fourth stringer to get reps. Are you going to force Sam Howell to play in August in a meaningful game that counts? Are you going to, force, the Eagles to have to play Ty Robinson and A.J. Dillon a couple times a year because of, injuries or whatever else? Like, that's the thing. You need those guys to get their reps. They need opportunities. Someone like, I'm trying to think of a name. Who's the last guy from the UFL, the XFL, or internet? Like, the last guy to come out of nowhere in the NFL that got their chance in the preseason. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, they need their opportunities to shine. Flyers will be all right? I hope so. Less fights in hockey means less Phil watching. I actually hate fighting in hockey. I think it's an outdated thing. I don't think there's a need for hockey fights. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think they should do it. What's up, Robert? How you doing this beautiful, beautiful morning? I hope you are well. Tocchet needs to work with Michkov the way he is this year and address the fitness issue in the offseason. Yeah. Look, obviously Michkov, immature, young guy. There's obviously some question marks there. But the guy's only 20 years old. There's people that are writing him off. I'm not writing him off yet. Remember we said they should stream practices. I do. I would watch stream practices. I would live stream practices. I would. They love something about Roger Goodell. They keep extending him. They love the money. We don't love him, but the owners love Roger Goodell. In 20 years, there will be an NFL game played in South Africa in Christian Pazunu Stadium. There's only like 2 people in the chat that understand that joke. All right? Must be making good money. The NFL makes a lot better than good money because of Roger Goodell. Starting camp early. Look, camps might start earlier at some point. Or maybe Gary Player Stadium. There you go. That's more likely, okay? Honestly, I don't think there are enough good football players on earth. Yeah, that could be true. That could be true, Nooms. But it'll give more people the opportunity to show if they are or not. There are a lot of starters that came up from the NFL or UFL, yeah. But they need opportunities, right? You're not just putting a UFL guy on your NFL roster because he's a UFL guy and he succeeded. He needs NFL preseason games to show if he belongs or not. Hockey fights are fun, sure. I don't think it really keeps me attention or loses my attention. I just don't care about him anymore. You've seen one hockey fight, you've seen a million. Drove from Philly to Freehold, New Jersey for work 6 days a week for almost a decade. Hour and a half drive each way. It must have been one fucking part of my language. Amazing job. And Mr. must have an amazing job as well. Like literally 20 minutes commutes drive me nuts. So before the pizza shop, which was always like about a 20-minute commute, depending on where I lived, give or take, my longest commute when I worked for Applebee's, they transferred me to the Royersford Applebee's for a little while, and I lived in Glen Mills. It was a 45-minute drive, but during rush hour, it was almost a 2-hour drive. And I hated it. I had to get transferred out of there so quickly. I was only there for a couple months. I couldn't do that drive every day. I hate being in the car. I really, really do. Hate being in the car and hate long drives. Like, I love listening to music and jamming in the car, but man, when you work 8, 10, 12-hour days, having 90 minutes to drive home after that long shift, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how anybody does it. Literally working on a cruise ship. I lived where I worked. Roll out of bed, pop on my Celebrity Cruises polo, and boom. Walk up 2 flights of steps, and I'm working. Walk down 2 flights of steps, get breakfast. That was the times. That was the easy job. Very few people will truly, truly understand that. Unless you've been in it. And maybe Grant or Sean's watching this morning. Corey, who I was chatting with yesterday. Maybe one of them are watching and they truly understand what that was like. Had to do another refresh for comments there. Can't afford a house in the town I work in. These are rich, bougie people that eat pizza with silverware. Oh, those people. How about goalie fight fun? Sure, I guess it's fun, but it doesn't excite me. It doesn't bring me into the sport anymore. I'm not hoping for fights in hockey. You can make Michkov work by having his minutes be heavier later in the game. Obvious he is having trouble playing through contact and in the corners. Again, 20 years old, right? Yo, Phil, hockey fights are fake. I don't know about that. They're definitely not fake. How did the comments stop that quick? Yeah, he thinks everything's fake because, he's a Bills fan, right? Bills fans, they have struggles in life being a Bills fan. Guys, it's almost the top of the hour. It's almost 9 a.m. So please, if you haven't, 17 of you watching, please like this video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Share this out. Vote on the poll. I don't know. Is the poll question even working? There's still only 13 votes on the poll question today. I'm not even sure if the poll is working or not. It seems like a lot of things aren't working today. But, hey, we fight through. We push through today, right? It's getting a little annoying. The comments aren't working. But we do what we do. We push forward. We push on. Who am I getting messages from? It is what it is. All the comments, I just refreshed, and all the comments already stopped working. If I blame StreamYard, they'll just tell me to reset my browser anyway. So that's what we do, right? You guys just have to keep seeing two faces at times, right? No shower before putting on the polo. Sometimes, yeah, it depends. Depends on what time I was scheduled. When I had 9 a.m. trivia on a C day, when I was in the nightclub till 3 o'clock in the morning spinning tunes, there might not have been a shower. It might have been a Greek shower. Okay, there were a lot of Greeks that worked on Celebrity Cruises. So yeah, I knew what a Greek shower was. No blood. Yeah, never blood. How would yeah. TMC thinks everything is fake. Yes, split fills. Yeah. Baker Mayfield is a fraud. No, he's not. The Four Nations All-Star Game is amazing. It is. It really is a great concept. It really is. StreamYard is fake. StreamYard is just pissing me off. Do you count Turtles in Time as a actual Turtles movie? Of course. Of course I do. We are living in the Matrix. That is true. Double Fill is great. Is it? I don't think it's really happened or helping anything. How were ladies on cruise? We will not discuss that. That cabin must have been right. Nah. I was an entertainer. So if you've ever know anything about cruise ships, cruise ships nowadays are different. But back then, crew lived in like really tight quarters on cruise ships, Big Al. Like you were talking 4 to 6 to 8 guys in a room with one bathroom. But being an entertainer, I either got my own room or a room with one person, but I got like a guest cabin, not always with a window, but basically a guest cabin. So, and I had somebody just like a guest on a cruise ship come and clean my room every single day. Okay. Posting this message before StreamYard crashes again. Yeah, exactly. An entertainer or an entertainer. Well, I mean, I was an entertainer. I DJ'd, I hosted karaoke, game shows, things like that, taught line dancing. But I also hosted something called Shippendales. Yes, Ship, SHIP. Okay. Yes, I did. And the old ladies loved it. These files are crazy. I don't care on this show. Phil the fluffer on a cruise ship. No, not it. What's up, Minnesota? Should the Phillies take the Bo Bichette contract, 7 years and $200 million, and give it to Frambler Valdez? Is that what he wants? That much money? No, that's not where I'm giving money to. Not at all. Not at all, Minnesota fans. If you want to give him a 1-year deal, fine. But I'm not committing 7 years to Valdez. I'm not. Not even close to that, okay? I was not, okay? Not even at all. I don't get that reference, so I can't even answer that one. No clue what that reference means. Anyway, let's get off of the cruise ship talk. Let's get back on the sports about trusting Daryl Morey, trusting Howie Roseman. There's such a difference between the trust in our two GMs, right? Howie Roseman and Daryl Morey, right? We spent time talking Eagles free agent yesterday. And while I wanted to talk defense, offense, and save today for offense, the Eagles offense has a lot of work, a lot of question marks, a lot of issues that need addressed. I have faith that Howie Roseman is going to address them. I have faith that Howie Roseman, who has zero tight ends on the roster as of today, outside of reserves, future contract to E.J. Jenkins. There's not a single tight end on our roster. I have faith in it. I have faith in him. Whatever is going to be the outcome of the A.J. Brown situation, I have faith in him in getting it right. I do. Why would an entertainer need a room cleaner? Ask you for a friend. So basically what they did, they trained the stateroom attendants by giving them crew rooms to clean, like the higher end crew, the entertainers and stuff like that. So my room cleaner, like if it was his first week on board, he'd be cleaning my room. And I would tip him. I had to give him some money every single week for the work and all, but he would clean my bathroom, change my sheets. I paid him extra. He did my laundry for me sometimes. Phil, you funded your pizza shop business by, no, I did not. I did it by hosting illegal gambling games underneath in the belly of the ship. You're great. You need a producer like Tim Dillon. Four Nations is great. They should expand on it. Look, the Four Nations was creative. That was last year or two. Is this going to be the second or the third year of it? What are they doing with it all, with the Olympics and all? Are they even doing an All-Star game? The Olympics, by the way, start. The opening ceremonies are on Friday, guys. Thinking about whether I should live stream any Olympic events this next week, maybe. I might, honestly, live stream some Olympic stuff. But the Olympics are this weekend. Obviously, it's Winter Olympics, which means hockey's in it. Are they skipping the Four Nations? Are they skipping an all-star game and all that because of the Olympics? Again, I have no clue. No clue what they're doing. Can't stand this long NHL break. Again, comments froze up again on me. If I was in the NHL and they stopped the fight while I was losing, that would suck. All my friends in Philly would talk about me getting beat up. I see that, Marshawn. I see that comment. Interesting. But yeah, I get it. Let's flip the screen for the 9th time today. I guess I'm going to have to reboot my computer after this show. There we go. We did that. We saw that. Phil gives the tip for cleaning his room after hosting a bunch of blue-haired ladies. Look, hey, those ladies love me, okay? I was a hit. I hit in the cruise ship industry. The old ladies loved me. And rightfully so, right? I am not running Windows XP. That is, well, am I? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm running. No, it says Intel Evo. I don't know. HP Envy. I don't know. Does an Eastern Conference Finals appearance get JoJo an apology, or does it need to be a ring? I think it's an interesting question, Nooms. I do. I can't put it up on the screen, but yeah, that's a very interesting question. What does Joel have to do over this season or ever in his career to get the respect he deserves, right? The fact that Joel Embiid is not playing in an All-Star game this year, it's insane, right? It's an embarrassment that he didn't get in even as an alternate or a sub yet, right? In my opinion. What does Joel Embiid need to do? A ring? Eastern Conference Finals appearance? I don't know the answer to that, Nooms. I don't. I wish I could put your comment on the screen. There it is. I don't know what you have to do or what he has to do. But I think he does deserve a little bit more respect than what he's getting at this point. I do. I think the work he has put in to be where he's at this year deserves more respect. I think Joel Embiid deserves respect for this season and for not giving up. Joel Embiid could have easily given up as a player. He really could have. But he put the work in. He did to come back and to come back at a decent pace this year. Yeah, I'm going to still always, fear every time he fights for a ball or dives on the floor or flops on the floor. There's always going to be that doubt. I think Joel Embiid deserves more respect. I think Joel leads the league in scoring the past few weeks, which is crazy if you remember where he was last year. Yes, Joel Embiid deserves respect for the effort to get to this point. Absolutely. He deserves massive respect. The fact that he's put up 30 points a game, like he is. I want to look at his total numbers. I'm not even sure where he's at statistically speaking for the year. 26.1 points per game, averaging 31 minutes a game. He's played 29 games this year. They've played 50, and he's played 29 of them. A little bit more than 50% of the games. He's averaging 7.4 boards per game. So a little weak. 3.8 assists. 0.7 steals, 1.1 block. Only 3 turnovers a game, which I really like to see. Shooting 48.8% from the field. 30% from deep, which I hate that he's averaging 4 threes a game. And his free throw percentage is 85%. I think that's a pretty damn good start to this comeback for Joel Embiid. If Joe does the same act in the playoffs, it will be same old, same old. However, if Joe does the same act. I think if Joel plays like he's playing right now in the playoffs, we're fine. But I worry, can he keep it up? Can he maintain it? Can he stay healthy? Selfishly, I don't want him sitting in back-to-backs. But I'm glad the Sixers are sticking to their back-to-back plan with him. Absolutely. I think Joel Embiid is definitely. Does NBA give out Comeback Player of the Year awards? If they do, he's definitely in the running for it. 100%. Not just in the running for it, should be the favorite for it. But don't they have rules on how many games? He's played 29 of 50 games. Means he's missed 21. Which means the max he could play this year is 61 games if he didn't miss another game the rest of the year. Man, we're 50 games through the NBA season already. I wouldn't have believed it if you told me. This season is flying by for the NBA. Like, legitly flying by. And it's been fun. It really has been. But this is when business picks up, right? The NBA trade deadline. We really get to see the shape of the NBA in the next 24 hours or so. And there seems to be a lot of rumors, a lot of wheeling and dealing, and a lot of shit going on in the NBA. Will Kawhi Leonard get traded? Will Giannis get traded? Will anybody? Well, I've heard rumors of Jimmy Butler in trades to make deals work. Phil has Napster. I do not have Napster. I did. I crashed many of Gateway computers in college and high school because of Napster. Josh Allen turnover machine. That is true. There ain't no lie there. No lies detected from that comment. Yes, I had Napster. Okay, the original Napster. Okay, the OG version. I still probably got some Napster burned CDs in that blue bin over there. Probably. My favorite thing with Napster would be you'd go to download a song on Napster, whatever song you want to do. I remember one specifically. I went to download a Dave Matthews song, a new song before the album came out. I downloaded. I went to hit play, and it was some other band playing a song. They just used the Dave Matthews name to get downloads. I ended up finding that band and going and seeing them in concert, too. It was good. LimeWire. LimeWire was post-Napster. I think I burned a gateway with LimeWire, too. Probably. Those websites, man, destroyed a lot of desktop computers back in the late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of desktop computers met their maker because of Napster and LimeWire. That is for sure. We've really covered it all. I mean, we still got 20 minutes to go today. We've talked barely any Eagles, barely any Phillies. We've talked a lot of NBA and Sixers. We've talked to my cruise ship stripping. We've talked LimeWire and Napster. We've really covered a wide range of topics this morning, right? What's up, Elephant in the room? We got a little bit of a comment problem right now, but I see your comment. Good morning. Funny how Joe Girardi never got a job again after the Phillies. I wonder if he just quietly retired or if he was finally seen for what he was. So what are you saying he was? Overrated? Is that what you think about on a random February morning is about Joe Girardi? How does Noom's brain work that at this point when we're neck deep in NBA trade talk, neck deep in the NBA, and you're thinking about Joe Girardi not getting another job after fired in 2022 with the Phillies? Like, where did that thought even come into your mind? K1 must be dying with all this NBA talk. Look, I love the NBA talk. Gives me something different to talk about for a change. All we do is talk football every day. I am prepared to talk Eagles. I am prepared to talk that I want the Eagles to make a play to bring Dallas Goedert back. I do. And there's a really important reason outside of the lack of a tight end to bring Dallas Goedert back. There is. The reason you bring Dallas Goedert back is because if you don't keep him, there's a $20 million dead cap hit next year. You re-sign him, you can lower that dead cap hit. We're up against it with the cap this year. We only got $10 million in cap space next year at this point, before renegotiations. A lot of work that needs to be done. Nooms has a beautiful mind. Yeah, he does. A very, what's his name, beautiful mind. Can't believe Harden fetched the Clippers Darius Garland. Look, I think the Clippers won that trade. Elephant in the room. And I said it, at what point do NBA teams realize that James Harden isn't worth the trouble? What has James Harden ever won to get to have the ability to act like he does? Well, as soon as the first sight of things not going his way with a team, I want out. Deuces. I'm gone. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated of it. I'm sick of it. James Harden does not deserve the credit he gets. James Harden does not deserve anything. Teams got to realize that. Reich to the Jets. Frank Reich signing with the Jets. I'm still trying to reset comments. I'm still trying to do all this crap left and right here. So I'm missing stuff here. James Harden denies asking for a trade. They did that on their own. I don't believe that. I don't see any up here. Yeah, here it is. The Jets are hiring former Panthers and Colts head coach Frank Reich as their offense coordinator. All right, so Jets offense coordinator is Frank Reich. There you go. Got it. There's that news right there. Garland is only 26 too, yes. And he's under a longer-term contract than what fits the Clippers' original scheduled plan of not giving people contracts long-term. I'm tired of this screen flipping here. Wait. Where the F is Duck with? I don't know where Duck is today. Phil, which Mozart symphony is the best? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'd have to think long and hard about that. He never misses a day. Even when he misses a day, he doesn't miss a day. Who knows? Hope he's okay. I'm sure he's fine. And if not, he'll tell us about it. I know he was having back pain earlier in the week. Or was that last week? I don't even remember. All these days kind of just blend together. I can't even tell you how many comments, because every time I change screens, it unstars all the comments, or a lot of them. We're up to 18 likes today. So that's progress, all right? It's been an interesting show. It's been a fun show. But we still are sitting here thinking we have no idea what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with our Sixers team. Why? Because there's no idea what's going on with the NBA. And there's no way to determine what anybody is worth in the NBA. Your worth is what you're willing to pay for somebody. The NBA bends over backwards for the LA market. I think they bend over more for James Harden than anything else. The fact that James Harden can get traded as many times as he has over the last couple of years, and people still want him, it's crazy. StreamYard is not my friend this morning, Mitchie Poo. Comments are freezing on the screen nonstop. I've had to re-sign in like literally 9 times today. Literally like 9 times of signing in and out. It's kind of annoying to be brutally honest with you. Flyers fans are in pain, but especially Gen X Flyers fans. Look, I'm not in pain over the Flyers. I tried. I gave them my attention at times. Just couldn't get excited about it. Couldn't stay hooked. Couldn't stay invested. Wanted to? Couldn't. It's the way it is. It played out how it played out for the Flyers this year. And that's it. How a Mitchell Harden backcourt going to do? I have no clue. No clue why you'd want to pair James Harden and Donovan Mitchell together. No clue. I wouldn't want those two together. I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. I don't think the two of them are going to mesh well at all, especially with only like 30 games left in the NBA season. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a big mistake. And honestly, what? He's got a player option or a team option after this year. He'll be a free agent, and somebody will give him big money for next year again. Or he'll pick up his option and be trouble in Cleveland next year again. I might be able to score on that duo. There ain't going to be no defense played in Cleveland anymore. I don't know, was Darius Garland a great defender or not? But Harden and Mitchell is definitely not a good. I mean, they better score 130 points a night in Cleveland, or they're going to lose every single night in Cleveland. Right? Anyway, it is what it is. I guess we get back to the Eagles tomorrow. We got to talk the Super Bowl at some point this week. Obviously, there's a little bit of a football game known as the Super Bowl happening. We do got Sam Ostry coming on Friday. Good young rising star, writes for The Score, did work for Fox the Gambler, works with Sean Bernard on the Pick Swap Media. So we will have him on Friday recapping the NBA trade deadline. Lonzo to the Hornets is not confirmed. It was just a rumor that they were interested, and that's it. Philly isn't the same when the Flyers and Wings are suffering. There's that extra fun, tractor-pullish rowdiness to the fan base when they're succeeding. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I never really was a big Wings fan, never really got into lacrosse. Don't understand the sport that much. Um, but maybe you got something there. Maybe something to that. But we got Sam Ostry coming on Friday to recap the deadline, and we will get, obviously, some Super Bowl talk in on Friday as well. I have a feeling that Friday's show, if the Sixers are active, can be a very long show with a lot of content to cover. And then you've got next week, Tuesday, Ed Kratz will be on the show to talk Eagles, to talk their coaches, and to talk the offseason. He wanted to come on Monday, but I don't know how sober I'll be Monday morning after the Super Bowl. So we will leave that be till Tuesday for Ed Kratz. So we got lots happening here. Do I like Lonzo? I mean, I have mad respect for Lonzo Ball in the sense that the dude's had debilitating, career-ending injuries how many times and has found a way back to being serviceable on an NBA court. So I got mad respect for Lonzo's effort to get on the court. So that's my thought there. Phil started his entrepreneurial journey as an exotic dancer on cruise ships. He should write a book called Gigolo to Made Man. Yeah, no. That is not what I did, mister. I drank a lot. I partied a lot. Had a lot of fun. But that is not what I did. Happy for Darnold, and I'm glad Kansas City ain't in the Super Bowl. I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold does in the Super Bowl. I am very excited to watch the Super Bowl. We might not actually live stream the Super Bowl. I might go to a friend's house. I know a friend just invited us over, having a little Super Bowl party. But I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold is capable of doing. I'm excited to maybe actually go socialize with people on the Super Bowl instead of working. Entertaining the nuns, Big Al will get this. I was not entertaining Sister Maura or Sister Barbara. I was not, okay? Not at all. Not even close. Not even close. What is with all what? TMC. What does this mean? I don't even know what that means. Not at all. What is with the Grok please remove tweets? It's just the new latest AI craze on Twitter. Remove the best team. Remove this. Remove that. I just paged right past it all. It's just clickbait shit, basically. It's basically clickbait. That's all it is. And that's it. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. It's all social media is, period, right? And I get it. I do some clickbait stuff on Twitter occasionally. Why not? I've gotten a couple payments from Twitter over the last month or two since I got monetized there. Anyway, what's on tap tomorrow then? Will there be more trades in the NBA today? I don't know. But if there is, I have no idea who's getting traded and to where and for what. Because it's that crazy. It's that unsure of what anybody is valued at. What's this question here? Which path would you most like to see the Sixers take at the deadline? Trade Embiid, stand pat, trade Edgecombe for Giannis. What kind of question is that? How are you going to trade Embiid? Nobody is trading Embiid. I don't get comments like that. So over, under on Crawford Super Bowls, 35, 45. What? Oh, stolen base. You're talking Justin Crawford, stolen bases. I don't know. I guess the real point here is Justin Crawford going to play every game? Is Justin Crawford going to be a starter or a platoon player? You would think he's going to be a starter every day. You would think Justin Crawford's going to play 150 games this year. But my question is, will he? Or will it be a platoon with a Marsh or whoever? I don't have faith that Rob Thompson plays him the 150 games it would take for him to get to 45 steals. So I'll take the under on 35. Monetization on X, you have to have 500 verified users, which means 500 people with blue check marks to follow you. While I had 5,700 followers, I only got to 500 like 2 months ago of them being verified. And you have to have 5 million impressions over a 3-month stretch, which I always have over 5 million impressions. Okay? It's just getting 500 paid followers, and that's it. And now I'm there. I think I made like 70 or 80 bucks over the last 2 months on Twitter. I'm having a Super Bowl party, but watching last year. So that's a good way to do it. It's a smart man. I'm not sure there's any player I would trade for VJ. There's always a player for VJ, right? There's no such thing in football, in baseball, in basketball, in hockey, in lacrosse, in soccer. There's no such thing as an untradeable player. Everybody is tradable for the right deal. I am not trading VJ for Giannis, though. That's it. But there's got to be a trade that I would accept that includes VJ Edgecombe. Fan base would revolt if Crawford produces Ben Revere numbers. I know that's what Rick thinks is going to happen. I don't, but I think there are people that think that. I go under 35 with that number not being indicative of the success with the bat. That's fair. That's fine. What's up, chat in the chat? Shameless plug. Philly Press Box Radio tonight live right on this channel. Paul Domowitch. I love it. I love a good Paul Domowitch. And yes, remembering Carl's Cards founder, Carl Henderson. I didn't know Carl. I've never met Carl. But the outpouring of love I have seen for Carl Henderson, I feel like I knew the guy my whole life. If you guys know Carl, if anybody knows of Carl Henderson's story or his card shop, I'm sure you've interacted with him at some point. Yes, very sad, but very, very special to see. I like literally never met the guy. I heard of him, but never met the guy, never talked to the guy once. But I feel like I knew the guy forever because of all the stories I've read over the last 24 hours about him and his life and how he affected so many people in the Philadelphia sports world. He owned a card collecting shop for the last 30, I think I read 31 or 32 years. A lot of big signings at his place and a lot of big events, and he met a lot of people. A lot of connections. A lot of people seem to have been touched in some way in their life by Carl Henderson. So I had never heard of the dude before the other day. So yeah. I'll be interested. I can't wait to hear your remembrance of Carl tonight, chat in the chat. And obviously Paul Domowitz is one of the best that covered the Eagles in the past there. And one great guest there for sure. So look forward to it. Philly Press Box Radio tonight live 7 p.m. right here on the STT Sports Network, guys. You got to say, Chet, how long have you been doing it? You're still not at 1,000 subscribers on your channel? Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time to start the wrap-up process here. I'm tired of refreshing my screen. Tired of figuring out. Yeah, I'm sure Matty B has. Yeah. Why do we have a Matty B reference tonight? Or today? I'm going to wrap this up. I'm tired of my screen not working today. I'm going to do a hard reset on my computer and then get posting shorts, a few of them, I guess. I really haven't focused on shorts today, so I don't know. But with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow. More NBA trade deadline talk for sure. And more decent value. Yeah, always decent value. Ouch, yeah, sorry. Felt like throwing that dig in there. Chet, I don't know why, but I kind of felt like it was necessary. Anyway, with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap this baby up. We'll be back tomorrow. No, we're not saying go Sabres. We're not saying go Hornets. We're saying go Birds. Everybody, bubbles up.